Hey, what's going on, peoples? Oops. What's going on, peoples? We are here. We are live. Indeed, we are. It is that day, finally, August 17th in the year of 2020, and we get a gander at Auburn's football schedule for 2020. Obviously, coronavirus played havoc with all of this, and they had to kind of fight and decide what they wanted to do with football. Are they going to play? Are they not? The Pac 12 backed out. Big Ten backed out. But the SEC and the ACC said, and the Big 12 said, we going. So we found out, about a week ago, maybe, of the opponents that Auburn will be playing, that they added Tennessee, they added South Carolina. And now we actually have the schedule. So let's go to our main page and take a gander at that bad boy. There it is on the left. Yo, yo, yo. Starting off with the Kentucky Wildcats, which we found out earlier in the day. I think they announced that on Feinbaum's show. Kentucky, a credible program at this point. I don't think that anyone stands around and says, oh, geez, I'm so scared of Kentucky. But at the same time, like those days when they sucked all the time, they're not there now. I think they have a good coach. They have some players. They're a pain in the ass. So I wouldn't overlook that one, but you got to think inside Jordan Hare, first time, first game of this coronavirus deal. I mean, Kentucky was good last year. I think they're going to be solid this year. The question for me is going to be like, Joey Gatewood, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there? I don't know. It would be cool if he was, though. That'd be really cool if he was. Week 2 is at Georgia. Yeah, so that game, I had concerns that, this Georgia game was going to get moved. But, I mean, it was going to be kind of earlier in the season this year. So, game 2. Let's see, Canoe Man mentions, why not bury the lead? What is the bourbon of the night? I wasn't really planning to drink because I drank so much. I had a big night Friday night, big night Saturday night, and I wasn't going to imbibe, but I mean, geez. Canoe Man, I'm not going to leave you hanging, brother. So I'll tell you what. Let's break out some Old Soul. A great daily drinker from our friends at Cathead Distillery. And we'll just pour that bad boy out. And just have a little something just to kind of celebrate that we do have a schedule. And there is going to be football. All right, so Kentucky at home. Not an easy game, but that's not particularly tough. I mean, I wouldn't think that's like all-world tough or anything like that. At Georgia, game week 2, October 3rd. Again, that Georgia game was going to be moved up anyway, so that's not a huge thing. Then you got home Arkansas. Arkansas is going to be bad. We know that. Super chat coming in from my man, Ruxpin, a.k.a. Ruxy Poo. You may know him as just Ruxpin. I don't know. Thank you very much for that, sir. One of our great supporters of the show and a potentially Hall of Fame poster on the bunker. Kind of new, but still doing a hell of a job. Thank you very much, Ruxy Poo. Arkansas, you'd think that would be, let's have a shot right here to the schedule, guys. All right, so you got Arkansas on the 10th. You got back-to-back road games at South Carolina. They weren't very good last year. I mean, anytime you go on the road, you got to worry a little bit, no matter who you're playing. But back-to-back South Carolina and Ole Miss, to me, that's not too bad. Ole Miss, again, a team with a new coach, a whole new deal going there. So you don't think that one would be particularly tough? Then you got LSU at home on Halloween. And we can talk all day. They don't have Burrow. They've lost, doggone it, their good middle linebacker that I liked a lot. I forget some of these guys' names. But everybody's kind of poo-pooing LSU, and I don't buy into that yet. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters, but they're going to be better. I think people are saying, oh, it's over. I don't know about that. Then you got the Idol right there after 6 games. Not bad. I think everybody was in a 3-week window there. So that's not, everybody's got the same deal. Then you go at Mississippi State, which I don't know what to think about them. I like their coach. I like their coach, and he's air raid, and he's going to bring some situations to Kevin Steele's defense that they don't see in the other games. So that's going to be a challenge. But, I mean, are they going to be together? Is he going to have his own Gardner Minshew? Probably not. I don't know. Tennessee at home. I mean, you guys know what I'm thinking. You guys know what I'm thinking, man. I mean, I thought Auburn was going to crush Tennessee the last time Tennessee was in Jordan-Hare. Was it a couple years ago? Patrick Queen, Corey Weber, thank you. That is the linebacker from LSU that I like so much. Yeah, Tennessee at home on November 21st. I don't. We'll just have to see on that one. Jeremy's done a lot of. He's knocked Gus around more than once, more than twice. 3 times a Mayday. He's pretty good against him. So we'll see about that one. At Alabama on Thanksgiving, so it's the same area of the schedule in a general sense, but since the schedule's kind of lengthened a little bit, that's not going to be the last game. And I think we said the last time that happened that Alabama was not the final regular season game was the hurricane year. Was it 9/11 year? I can't remember which one. So it'd be either 05 or 01. And then before that, I think it was the 60s-ish. But typically, obviously you finish with the Iron Bowl, and this year, it won't be. It'll be the 9th game. And then you've got A&M at the end of the schedule there, the regular season schedule, I should say. And, I mean, the guys on the SEC network were like, oh, God, man, you got the Iron Bowl, and then you got Jimbo coming to town. And I don't. Again, we all got our own biases. I don't look at Texas A&M and think, oh, my God, good luck with that, Gus. We're going to know a lot more about this Auburn team, by the time we get to the A&M game. So I don't know if that's going to stack up. Canoeman says 2001, the 9/11 game, the game that was postponed due to the 9/11 attacks. Auburn was supposed to be at LSU that weekend, and everybody skipped that week. And then Auburn the next week went to Syracuse to resume, and then played that game in December of 2001. And to this day, it's been 19 years ago. It is the most vile, I don't necessarily mean this in a bad way, but the most vile and violent game situation that I've ever been a part of. And I've seen some bad ones. But that was bad. I mean, it was seriously like Middle Eastern war over there. Most people were fired up, and you know how they are. I mean, they get drunk anyway, but. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the Skype. I spoke with Mr. Brian earlier. Mr. BMAT is going to jump on right now, and we're going to talk about the schedule. And also, Gustav had a Zoom today at 1 o'clock with the reporters of the Auburn beat, which was all of us. Brian was on there asking questions. I was on there asking questions. Nate was on there, didn't have a question. And then Jay Lee, I think, was working on that recruiting situation. So we were all on there, though. Melee says, yo, JGT, feels like this may actually happen. I mean, if you're talking about this season, hell yeah. I mean, I do feel that way. I mean, I'm really encouraged. Gus was saying today that they had administered, I wrote it down here, 863 total tests of players since they returned to campus on June 4th. So I don't know how many kids they would necessarily be testing. I mean, let's throw it at 100. He said there were approximately 7 rounds of tests. And so these kids get tested at least 7 times each. Some of them a few more for various reasons. And they had 33 total positive tests. That does not mean 33 players tested. That just means 33 total positive tests. And, sometimes when kids test positive, they get tested again and again and again until they're negative, and then they come out. He said, I think he has 4 kids in quarantine right now, but he thinks they're going to be out soon. So that's good news. And somebody was asking me on the board and said, JG, I think just kind of joking, like, well, I mean, it's nobody got sick. And I was told that though most of the situations were asymptomatic, there were a couple situations where the kids were sick, not hospital sick, but they needed to be in bed. Let's see. Melee says that Nate was busy scooping me on the schedule. I hope so. That was his job today, and he did a hell of a job with it. Nate's he's good at what he does. So let's see. Mike A says Bama catered to big time. bye week before LSU, Georgia game pushed back, and Tennessee still third Saturday in October. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, look, we've all been Auburn observers long enough to know that Alabama gets everything they want. Like, it's just, at some point, you just got to say, we just going to roll with what we got. Some things are just going to happen. Bama's going to get all the breaks, and that's just how it is. Let's get on the horn, Mr. BMAT here, and see what up. Uh-oh, I don't hear him. Oh, that's because I didn't actually hit send. This new software doesn't let you hear the ring.
Oh.
What up, BMAT?
What's happening?
Well, schedule and other things.
Yeah, that is happening, isn't it? We have a schedule.
We finally have a schedule. It feels like we're actually going to play some football this year, brother.
Could be. We got 5 weeks. It's going to be a long preseason. Don't forget that.
It is going to be a long preseason. And it's going to be a different kind of preseason because they're not going to be doing the things that they usually do with a traditional fall practice period, right? I mean, it's going to have to be spread out. They used to go every single day. And now he said, I think it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, scrimmage Saturday, right?
And off Sunday, yep, I think so, yep. And he's going to do that for 5 straight weeks. And he did say it's going to be more physical, more 11 on 11, more scrimmage work because he knows the important thing this preseason is getting a 3-deep. You've got to have guys maybe last year you didn't have to worry about ready to go in case you have a positive test or two or a breakout on the team. And you've got to go with guys or maybe down the chart a little bit, and that's in the start against a big SEC opponent.
Yeah. Let's see. So the good thing about the schedule from an Auburn perspective, in my opinion, is you take the 3 big games, which is Georgia, LSU, and Alabama, and they're all split up. So you've got Georgia week 2, LSU week 6, Alabama week 9. So you've got room to work there. And finally, Georgia and Alabama and LSU all get spread out a little bit,
Yep, I like that a lot. You open up at home against Kentucky. That's a good matchup. Kentucky will be a tough team. I think it'll get the players' attention, right? But it's also a team that you would think at home that you would win. And then, of course, you've got that Georgia game up the next week. So they'll have 2 big games to work on over the next 5 weeks and worry about Arkansas later. And then before LSU, you're at South Carolina, at Ole Miss. Again, 2 games you expected to win. And then you get a bye. And then to close out, you're closing out the season, which is normally, amen corner, so to speak. Instead, you've got at Mississippi State, Tennessee at home, at Alabama, and Texas A&M at home. That's much better than any Auburn schedule I've ever covered in my 20-so years of covering this team. That's a great way to finish out the season.
Yeah. I mean, it's a friendly way to do it. I mean, and I mentioned on the show before you came on that it seems like the A&M guy, the SEC Network guys were like, whoa, they got Jimbo in that last game. Good luck with that. And I don't really see that as a really scary game,
No, I don't either. Jimbo ran Florida State in the ground before he took off for the money, and I'm not convinced Texas A&M is going to be anything but a mid-tier SEC West team throughout his tenure there.
Well, they still have Kellen Mond, though, of course.
Yeah. Well, again, he's
no doubt.
To me, he's nothing more than above average SEC quarterback, nothing special. But maybe he'll surprise me this year as a senior. I think he is, but I've seen enough to Kellen Mond to feel like I know who he is.
All right, so they do have a nice little run there after the game at Georgia, which is going to be tough, I'm sure. It's been a while. They got Arkansas at home, at South Carolina, at Ole Miss. I mean, that's a pretty friendly threesome ahead of the LSU game,
It is. It sets up really well. And, Ole Miss is a team in transition. They got some talent, but, they're still a team that Auburn should beat even on the road. South Carolina, same thing, although, that'll be nice to play Will Muschamp and T-Rob and those guys. And then LSU, I know they're the defending national champs, but, they've got a new quarterback, a new pseudo offensive coordinator. No telling what type of team they'll put out there this fall. We'll see.
Okay, so we've got to look at the schedule now. The Kentucky game can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Zoom is tough. I thought the interview today with Gus, I thought he was doing a good job, but it was kind of a tough situation. It's just weird to not be around him, not see him, not kind of be able to read him,
Yeah, it was kind of strange seeing him stand up at a podium when he's just got a computer sitting away from him trying to answer questions. It was kind of a strange way to do it, but It worked out fine. I commend him and Auburn for making the decision to release their testing information. I was concerned that they were going to play this, game that other schools are playing now, some schools, where they, try to say that they were advised not to give it, or we can't do it for whatever, BS medical reason. And they didn't do that. And I was afraid that this press conference might get a little testy if he tried to do that. But I'm glad he opened up with that information. I thought it was pretty good news overall when you consider there were, 860 something tests and 33 positives. That may not be the exact number, but I thought overall that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job. And he talked at length today during his press conference about, accountability's got to be a really big thing for these kids right now, that we've got to stay healthy and safe, and that's the way that we're going to be a better team. So, that's not something you always hear,
Yeah, and we'll see how much influence those guys can have over the rest of the student population. Didn't work very well at North Carolina. They're shutting down after a week. We'll see what happens at Auburn, although, if every school shut down after a week and they found a way to keep the players there, that would be the best scenario for actually playing football. I don't know if they can work that out that way or not, but that's the biggest hurdle this whole deal has to get over, is having the students back and keeping these players, away from them as much as possible.
I have heard some information today suggesting that they are going to have fans inside Jordan-Hare. I think it's going to be up to every school to kind of decide how they want to handle that, but I believe that Auburn is going to try to put some people in that stadium. How many would you expect in a situation like that? Is it going to be like 10%, 20%, 50%? What do you think?
I was thinking 25 to 30%, somewhere right in there. I don't think they can get as high as 50% and do everything they need to do. And I wouldn't expect any, Tiger Walk, probably not. Tailgating, probably not. Rolling tumors, probably not.
No Tiger Walk.
Or no, I should say no. I mean, it's probably not. It's just a no. All those things aren't going to happen. I don't believe. So, better get ready and get ready for that. And, as far as who gets in, are students going to get in, or is it just going to go to the big dollar donors that want to come? How do you do that if you only got so many seats you can fill, and you're in a money crunch situation? What does Auburn do?
Put your the folks that have the suites, you got to put them in there, obviously. And then I think the other folks, you just got to go like lower bowl, maybe put students in the upper bowl and lower bowl. I think students are what you got to do. Personally, I mean, that's not a big money maker, but that's an enthusiasm maker. And if you're only going to have 20%, you need a lot of students in there.
Yeah, you do. But other people will pay a lot of money too. So we'll see. We'll see how they figure that out.
Money talks and bullshit walks. That's what I'm saying right now.
That's right.
All right. Anything else that Gus passed along today? We spoke with him for almost 30 minutes. Anything from that conversation that really stuck out aside from the accountability? Anything else?
I thought when we talked about what he said about practice and how it being so different and the three people, I thought that was important. I wrote about that. He mentioned left tackle, saying it was Alec Jackson, Killian Zaire, and Austin Troxell were your three guys there. And that's a big position to watch. And be really interested to see how that works out. And, of course, he said that Austin Troxell was cleared 100%, and Zaire had been medically cleared and was close to 100%. So
right.
It sounds like all three guys will be out there at some point competing, which is really, really big, I think, for that competition over there. We also said 10 to 12 offensive linemen have a legit shot to win the starting job, and I think that's spot on. I don't think he's overestimating. I mean, basically, you take the 16 offensive linemen, you take away, 3 or 4 freshman offensive linemen, you take those guys out and put them in the red shirt. You don't think that Prince Sammons is really in the mix for any spot in the two deep, and there you have your dozen guys right there competing for it.
Yeah. Huge news to have Troxell and Zierer ready to go. I mean, those are two guys that are, if they're 100%, those are two really good tackles right there. So that's great news for Auburn. I wasn't expecting to hear that about Zierer. So that's good.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that, but that is positive news all the way. And other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of breaking, news about the team. But I thought overall it was a good talk with the guys.
Yeah, he seemed to be in a good mood, so that's good.
Yep. You could tell. He said several times during the whole discussion how excited he was to be back out there with his players. I could tell that was definitely the case. I mean, he's a football coach. They love to get out there on the field and coach, and I'm sure that was really, really a good feeling for them this afternoon.
I mean, that's pretty big right there.
Yep.
All right, brother. Well, it was awesome having you on the show, B-Matt. I'm hoping that we got player interviews tomorrow in a window that's pretty wide. I think it's 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock or something like that. So,
Yeah, I think Cook said it'll be in the morning, and then Wednesday we don't have anything planned, which is perfect because I got to go move Ashley back into her dorm at Montevallo for however long she'll be there. We'll see if she can make it a little semester, or they'll have have to send them home eventually.
yeah, my daughter, the South, they ended up going pretty much full online, but she's there and they're going to stay there, so I'm happy about that.
That's good. Well, they need the college experience. That's important. I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out in some places or areas, but as much as they can get, it's important.
I agree 100%. All right, sir, you behave yourself out there, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the voodoo thing tomorrow. Okay.
That's for voodoo tomorrow, by the way.
What now?
I've got a surprise for voodoo tomorrow, so stay tuned.
All right. See ya, bro.
All right. Late.
Bye-bye. There he is, Brian Matthews, our H-team reporter, and a man who is a – better not do that. Doer of many things. All right, also coordinated to get young Nate on the horn just because we love young Nate. And I want you guys to know this. Now, it was Canoe Man, I believe it was, who was getting on me the other night because I didn't realize no, it was Biscuit, wasn't it? Getting on me because I didn't realize exactly when young Nate was getting married. He's getting married this coming weekend to his lovely lass with whom he has been dating. With whom? For whatever. He's been dating for a minute. It's been a long time, actually. And so he's going to get married. He's going to take the next week off to do some gallivanting. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what kids these days do. I don't know. But there will be some people that will be like, come on, Nate. Why are you getting married, bro? Well, you know that's not how we feel about it. Us married guys, come on. Come on, guys. We're going to have nice things to say. So I say that in advance of us calling young Nate. Because in addition to letting him speak on what he wants to speak about, we're also going to wish him a merry, is it a merry wedding? I don't know what you do. I don't know his number right off, so I got to look this thing up. Aha. I knew that he didn't have an, I knew that he didn't have a number from Huntsville. It's from it's from Orlando. All right. Get him on the horn. Got him. Alpha said it was Biscuit that was getting on me about young Nate. Fair enough.
Hello.
Is this young Nate?
It sure is.
Hi, young Nate. You haven't been on the horn lately, but we're glad to have you.
I was on like 2 weeks ago, I think, like 3 weeks ago.
It feels like an eternity, sir.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Everybody here would like to wish you a happy marriage wedding day, so we're just going to give you like a full. We're so stoked. We're so stoked for you, bro.
What do you get? A full what?
Clap. We do a clap for you. Everybody did it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Wedding week clap. That sounds kind of bad.
Yeah, because there's always going to be some angry man that's like at least 40 who goes, "Don't get married, Nate." But that ain't me, bro. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so let me know if anybody does that.
Okay, they've all turned on you, and now they want to kick you in the face. I'm just kidding. Tell me about the schedule, bro. What are your thoughts about this?
I have no complaints. I don't think if I was Auburn, I would have too many complaints. I know they were talking a lot on SEC Network about that it was brutal to go Alabama and Texas A&M at the end of the year, and it was like, well, did you know what their schedule was before that? It was Alabama and LSU. So I mean, it's really not that different. I think Auburn is probably happier to end the year at Jordan-Hare instead of ending it on the road. That's always nice. The week one game against Kentucky intrigues me. I think it's probably better for Auburn that they're getting Georgia early in the season. I don't know if you feel that way. I just feel like maybe you catch Georgia while they're trying to implement a new quarterback and put in some new systems there, and maybe you'll have a chance to pull off a victory in that one. But the one I have circled is LSU, just because that game is always crazy. That game always produces some weird stuff, and it's on Halloween now, so it's obviously going to be a lot weirder. I'm just willing to bet there's going to be something weird that's going to happen in that one, and I'm excited for it. Hopefully we get to that point. Hopefully that one can be played. I think that'll be really fun. I've never, been to a football game on Halloween or anything like that. And Auburn doesn't play very often on that day.
Why would you think you think LSU would just quit and cower why would they not play that game?
I don't know. I mean, we got to get to that point. We got to get to the kickoff, and then I'll feel a little bit better about things. I'm not completely sold on them getting through an entire season, but if they get to September 26th and they kick that game off, I think that's a really good sign.
We'll give a point. We'll give you the point on that. Okay,
oh,
you finish with A&M. The guys on the SEC Network were just absolutely fired up to rag on that game and go, whoa, Gus has got to deal with Jimbo late. Going to be trouble. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that, Nate? Is that a scary game?
Scary. I mean, scary for who? It might be scary for Texas A&M. They might be in the hunt for the West, and then they've got to go to Jordan-Hare. I don't know how much of a difference home field advantage is going to make this year, but I mean, I don't really know why Auburn wouldn't be favored a little bit in that game. I guess maybe if you're looking at it more as a neutral sider, I think if it was kind of a normal season, then Auburn would get the nod in that one because it's a road game. No, I mean, I'm not entirely sold on Texas A&M until they're able to make good on some of the preseason love they've gotten over the past few years under Jimbo, which I know Gus gets a lot of the same. He'll get preseason love and then won't produce on the expectations. But until Jimbo does that, until Jimbo produces when he's expected to. Now, granted, I think Texas A&M is going to be good under him. I think he's a good coach. I don't know. I'm just not sold on them this year. I'm not sold on them the back end of Auburn's schedule being that much more difficult than it was before. I think now it might be easier. You're not playing the defending national champion, and again, you're ending the season at home as opposed to on the road.
Yeah, and the big games are spread out, like you mentioned earlier. Georgia early, LSU middle, Alabama late. I mean, I think realistically, this is as good as you could hope for. I mean, I think.
It's pretty good, yeah. I really, again, like we were talking about earlier, you kind of glance at it, and we haven't had a ton of time to digest it. That's what we're doing now, but I really don't see a ton of problems with it. I mean, it's Auburn. They're going to play a tough schedule. They're going to play a difficult schedule no matter how you slice it. That's kind of what Gus was talking about today, was that, there's a lot of uncertainty, and this is before they even found out their week one opponent was Kentucky, but we were asking him about, normally you're preparing for these early season opponents, and now you don't even know who they're going to be. And he just said, look, we're just preparing for tough opponents every year. It's the SEC and it's the SEC West, and Auburn always gets a tough draw year in and year out. So this is nothing new to them. It might be new to some other teams. I know Arkansas has been thoroughly beaten up by the new schedule, but it's not new to Auburn. They do this every year. And I think, like you said, it's a little more balanced this year. And if I were Gus, I'll be decently happy with it.
Yeah, but he's never happy. I mean, he's never happy about this stuff. I don't think he was even happy about the South Carolina and Tennessee editions, honestly. But whatever.
Well, you think he wanted Vanderbilt?
He wanted Missouri, I think. He felt like they deserved to have Missouri and South Carolina because those were the next two rotating East teams. Yeah,
that seemed to make the most sense, but there's not a lot of doing things that make sense going around.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about Gus speaking with the reporters. He spent 30 minutes talking about a whole bunch of stuff. With BMAT, we already talked a little bit about the football side of things, but you wrote a story today on the front of auburnsports.com about the accountability issues, and I thought that was a really interesting angle, sir. Just talk about the importance of that now. It's kind of a new thing.
Yeah, so basically over the weekend, if not everybody saw, some Auburn players on social media kind of, I don't want to say frustrations. I don't think that's the perfect word for it, but more observations. They were, kind of sharing what they saw as students return to campus. And I'm not one for the whole student shaming thing. I think that's a big problem that we've got going on right now. I think if you're going to be playing the blame game, if you're going to be pointing fingers and saying, why are there so many people, in groups, and why are people not wearing masks? Well, you need to point fingers at the university for telling tens of thousands of kids to come back to school. What are you going to expect them to do? Just sit on their hands and do nothing all day? So I think right now Auburn, like every other school in the country, is trying to find that middle ground to where you want your students to be involved at your university. You want them to be enjoying their college experience. But at the same time, you as a coach, you want to play football. And you as a university, you want to protect your students and your faculty, and you want to be safe and have people not contract the coronavirus. So that's a lot of what Gus is talking about, is that, look, we've been in town for 2 months working and practicing and doing all of these precautions. I mean, the stuff that Auburn is doing is just incredible, how safe they're keeping their staff and their players. And it shows because they had a pretty low positivity rate. And now there's this big influx of students. And it's tough. You don't want to divide between the students and the student athletes. You don't want the student athletes to feel like the students are now infringing on their bubble per se and making things difficult for them to have a football season. And Gus just wants everybody to be united and just say, look, if you're accountable for yourself, if you're watching out for yourself every day and you're being responsible and you're doing the things that you need to do, then we might have a football season at Auburn University this year. We might be able to play football. But if you're not, we saw what happened at North Carolina today. Now, I think that was a big problem of North Carolina. They didn't test students before they came back to campus. I think that's a boneheaded move. But it's a lot of accountability right now. It's tough, and things are not as easy as they used to be when you could just walk around campus like I did for my 4 years and not worry about anything like a virus. But now you're asking kids to do a lot more, and we are asking more of them, and I think Gus wants kids to embrace that. His athletes have already embraced it. And so just kind of spread that around, for lack of a better term. Everybody be accountable for yourself, wear your mask, do what you've got to do, and hopefully then we'll have a football season.
There's some questions in the chat. Alpha Tiger wanted to know on a scale of 1 to 10. He's actually asking me this, but I have not met your fiance, so I don't know. He wants to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is she?
Of course I'm going to say 10.
10?
I'll say 11, actually.
11.
11.
That's great, man. That's a great place to start,
It is a great place.
If you're starting at a 5.
I'm
sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. Go. Please read me off your scale.
If you start at a 5 and then you get married, 20 years from now, is she really going to, is she going to be 10 at that point? Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know. Ask me in 20 years.
I plan to, sir. We'll be doing the brain drain in 20 years, and you'll be a star player in that, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will be.
Unless you were to leave us. I know you would not leave us, Nate, would you? You wouldn't leave us. No, you wouldn't. You love us.
I wouldn't. I am leaving you for a honeymoon. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I got to say this, though, dude, seriously. Why would you
I'll be back.
You're a football reporter. You knew you were going to graduate in this summer. I know it was kind of messed up.
I cannot believe you're about to ask me this question. You know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I want to
ask it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you claim Huntsville or Orlando? Because I noticed that your telephone number is in Orlando, but really you're a Huntsville kid, right?
So were you going to say that because I'm a football reporter and I have a wedding in August?
No, well, that's not where I was going.
Oh, well, that's good. Because as I thought about today, I previously planned this because fall camp is supposed to be over by now, and now fall camp is just getting started, and so that's not my fault.
It's not his fault, guys. We know this, of course.
It's not my fault.
Point given.
I know everybody will miss me a lot next week, so I know that they're just speaking out of love, so that's very sweet of them.
They are speaking out of love. I didn't have any questions. I knew the whole story, of course.
Right.
All right, Nate. You've done a hell of a job here the last few days. You've written a whole bunch. I know you're about to have one of the biggest weeks of your entire life, and of course, everybody here would like to wish you a happy week this week and next week, and everything going well.
Thank you, JG. Yeah, I look forward to it, and after I'm done, I look forward to coming back and seeing everything that I missed.
All right, Nate, you behave yourself out there, bro.
All right, you too, boss man. Thanks.
See ya. Bye. There he is, young Nate. I was going to ask him about that. I guess he told me and I just forgot. I don't know. We got a huge super chat during the call from our man, Why Not AU, who's been huge. Says, so fired up about the schedule, we should do it every year. I know you're just talking about the 10 SEC games. There's no filler on this. Mississippi State's not awesome. Arkansas's not awesome. Ole Miss is not going to be awesome right now, but I think we would all rather see those games at Southern Miss or the Citadel or Western Carolina. there's probably still a place in future schedules for games like that, just because you want to give your kids a little bit of a break. But I don't know. I think you have a good point here, Patrick D. And this is a great schedule right ahead of us right here. This is really good. This is packed and stacked. My feeling about it anyway. Let's see. Ravine says, "What did I miss, or what have I missed?" Mike A says, "Only what you didn't hear." I mean, that is the metaphysical answer. Yes. Kind of going deep with that one, aren't you? Phil P says this schedule is all gas, no brakes. Gus Bus. We're laying the hammer down on this one. Well, that's what we got. I just can't believe we actually made it, guys. I mean, like 2 or 3 months ago, I don't know, man. And it's great that we're to this point. And now we got a schedule. Old Hickory Tiger, what up? Glad to have you part of the show on the chat line. Sir? See, Patrick D says do this and then the playoff. Hell yeah, I'd like to see that. Ravine says the schedule could have been much worse. I like what I see. Which I think we would all agree with. I mean, I don't think anyone thinks this is a bad schedule for Auburn. It's a good schedule for Auburn. I think some people are bitching because Alabama got a softie. And I think someone mentioned earlier that Georgia got a really nice schedule. But, I mean, honestly, at this point, like the SEC would love to get into the playoff. I mean, SEC wants to get in the playoff anyway, and they do. They're very successful at that. But at this year, I mean, a playoff berth, those are worth extra money, like significant extra money, I should say. Some of that goes to the school that earns it, which is fair, but a lot of it gets taken into the coffers of the SEC and redistributed later on. So I don't see any way that the SEC, all these schools are going to be losing home game gates. I mean, for Auburn, I would say that a home game at the gate, whether you're talking about admission, funnel cakes, they bring in a lot of money, JG. It's a big profitability issue. Whatever. All the things that they sell, it's worth between $1 million and $2 million for the program, or for the athletic program, I should say. So, I mean, there's, 7? I mean, this year I realize it's 5, but normally it's 7. So that's, whatever. $7 to $10 million you lost right there. And they're going to try to get that back through getting teams in the playoff. It's a fair idea. It really is. Hey, caller, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Hey, JG, how are you?
I know who this is. This is my man, Alaska Tiger.
Yes, it is.
Is it still light outside
Just
where you
got
are?
home. Yes, it is. Just now starting to get a little bit of darkness. Probably about 11 o'clock it gets dark and stays dark till probably about 4 in the morning now. So finally getting to see darkness, which is kind of nice.
Word, that is nice. What does Alaska Tiger think about the schedule, brother? What do you think?
I think it's good. I think it's positive. Everybody has, pretty much kind of plays everybody, pretty much. The whole thing's going to be just kind of depending on, who gets sick, who doesn't, who tests positive. So every week, you may have a few players out or more players out, but the same thing is going to happen with the other teams. So it's all, it's all relative. It's all up in the air. It's all relative. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wish we could play Vanderbilt 17 times a year. That would be great.
Oh, well, oh, yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, I'd like to do that. But, the schedule's not bad, I mean, with everybody, most of the teams playing everybody, we're always going to have, tough games anyway. So it's definitely better than, just saying, oh, let's shut everything down. So, it's a work in progress, I guess. And,
it is.
I don't know if anybody or who's going to be in the stadium, but I can at least be up here when it's, 5 or 10 below and watch a game on Saturday come November. So
Yeah.
gives me something to do in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's going to be warm down here compared to you, like all the time.
Ooh, yep, it will be.
All right.
So the schedule's good, and
Yep.
working, or playing's good, whether it's in front of fans or not. I know NBA and the NHL, aren't playing, with fans, but I don't really watch them anyway, so.
Yeah, understood. Well, I mean, I'm just fired up that there's football, man. We got football to talk about. They've got practice 5 days a week for the next 6 weeks and then games, and man, that's really good news, brother.
Yeah, I think it is. Now, like I said, who knows what's going to happen if somebody tests positive, the week before a game. Okay, you're going to have a couple people being held out, and then you're just going to have to plug somebody else in and, hope your opponent's got, similar issues. So.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to be, It's going to be a weird year like that.
Right. Now, as far as a weird year or oddity, I know Auburn got a new recruit at wide receiver, and I thought it was extremely odd or rare that they're bumping him up to this calendar year.
Yeah, he's going to reclassify. That's the word. We're not 100% sure on that, but that is the goal.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it doesn't probably help Auburn that much. I mean, because I think he's a terrific player, but I mean, can he really come in right away and make an impact without having gone through conditioning? Probably not, but I think it's great for him, right?
Right. Well, that's why I thought, couldn't he just be a December graduate and come in at the beginning of the year? Because I don't really see him, actually playing, so we're actually losing a year. But who knows if he chose Auburn because he could get in quicker, or Auburn, allowed him to try to get in quicker.
Yeah, that's the thing, That's the thing.
And it is
all right, brother.
But time will tell.
And they're going to give
all right, man. You be good out there.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. I'll be listening to the show.
All right, brother. You be good out there.
Okay.
See you, man.
All right. Bye.
There it is. Alpha Tiger, my man. Calling in from far out there. Yeah. So we had a little bit of a loss there, right? And I've got this very sneaky suspicion that it's like Old Hickory Tiger. This is what I've kind of been thinking about since last week. He says, are those having issues on mobile? My desktop is running fine at the moment. So hold on, I got to cut that off just for a second. So I have a way to kind of check. This new platform gives me really good feedback on like how good we're doing as far as streaming out. God dang it. And we're good. And desktop is good. Administrative assistant is on the desktop too, and she hasn't noticed that as much. So it's just something to do with the mobile, with YouTube mobile, and that doesn't mean that we still got to work on that. I got to try to figure out what it is that. Yeah, Old Hickory Tiger says we getting Shiver's audio in the background. I don't know where that came from, but yes, you did. I was going through some of the plays from last year, and that was the play where they ran the Wildcat, right? And Shivers knocked Xavier McKinney's helmet off. D. Lucky says he's on desktop for the first time and has no issues. So it has something to do. I don't know. WOSD. Are you one that's? Are you on desktop or are you on a mobile? Alpha says I'm mobile, so if it's a mobile issue, that's probably on your end. I don't necessarily believe that at all, but it helps me understand what the problem is. If it's just mobile folks, then I know that I need to change something to kind of optimize it for mobile. That's probably what it is. I probably need to scale it down. I shoot for the moon when it comes to a resolution and just how thick, I guess you could say, the stream is. And I'm probably just going too high. I have it set on 1080. No, actually, I have it set on 14. Like 1440, I think. Which is. Thank you, WOSD. I appreciate you answering me on that. So a lot of it is mobile, and I think what I need to do, I just need to scale it down to 720. That's what I need to do. So that's on me. That's not you guys. That's not y'all doing anything wrong. I'm just kind of learning. Learning as I go. And maybe my internet just goes from like super good to like sort of good, and then that brings it down. I don't know. And we've been showing good. I go between good and excellent. And I'm at good right now. So I probably just need to back that down. So that's 100% on me, and I'll learn. And next time we're going to scale it down just a little bit, okay? And hopefully that will, keep the bandwidth requirements a little lower. And those of you who are watching on mobile, not on Wi-Fi, there you go. All right, moving on. I did have to turn off the Skype there. Somebody was trying to call in while I was trying to explain that and try to work through that. This is important to me that we got that straightened out. Dark Side says quad HD JG. Yes, it's my ISP is Spectrum, and I'm telling you guys, it's normally really good. My man Nick. My man Nick is on. He's listening on mobile too. What's up, Nick? I'm glad to have. I good to know you're out there, brother. Said he's listening on mobile, and all he can do is listen. So Melee says switch to 1440 during the Gal segment. I wonder if I could just change that right here in the middle. Let's see. No, it won't let me do it in the middle. I have it set on really high at 1440p. It also gives me the option of 4K, but I don't really want to try that. I think we're pushing it here. So I'll back it down to 1080 next time, and we'll just kind of work our way down. I mean, 720 is still pretty good. And it ain't like I'm super handsome anyway. Like, hey, guys, what's going on? All right, back to Auburn things. We talked to BMAT about the schedule, kind of focused on that. Nate, we talked a little bit more about Gus, talking about the team. The kids need to be accountable, trying to stay healthy and stuff, and that the team that has the highest number of its players available week to week is a team that's going to have an advantage. So he's big on that, and it's going to be big. He did seem like he was in a pretty good mood, and he did want to talk a lot about at the end about how this is going to be different than camp. You know, camp, they're usually just trying to, they're really grinding the heck out of them, and I think this time it's going to be more of almost like a 9-to-5er because they only have 20 hours. They're limited to that. So, they're going to kind of have to go and get their work done and get out. See, I'm on YouTube. Ruxpin says I'm on YouTube app on Xbox and it keeps blacking out for half a second when you were mentioning it. Ay. All right, so this one's this one's on me, I guess. I just got a little ambitious, that's all. I wasn't planning to go super long. Actually, we're showing excellent right now on the connection, so that's on me. And I can't change the resolution in the middle of the stream, which is fine. It makes sense that I wouldn't. All right, so we may just go ahead and wrap it up there. I wasn't planning on going super, super long. I think it would be beneficial, like Saturday nights, to just grind it out for hours, and then maybe a couple times during the week, we just do a brain drain that goes like an hour. We take a call here or there, talk to BMAT, talk to Young Nate, talk to Jeffrey when needed. Pocket Watch, I did look around for fiber. I do not have fiber available to me here, so I can spend a whole lot more money and get slightly more bandwidth, but it would not change. I would not have fiber. It would still be cable. So, yeah, that's the situation right now. I would love to have fiber. If it was available to me, I promise I would do it, but I just don't. Right. That's a fix that we will do in time for the next show. But we'll probably wrap it up there anyway, guys. I just wanted to kind of, get out there and talk a little bit about the schedule and other things that Gus had to say. We got players tomorrow, full coverage on that, and we'll be on the bunker, of course. We finally have some football to talk about, so we don't have to talk about politics and COVID every single minute. Corey W. says, I don't think Montgomery has fiber to the house yet. I live in a brand new neighborhood that's, fairly nice, and, they don't have it available, so it stinks. I wish that I had it, but at the end of the day, I live in Montgomery, Alabama, and you guys live in some really nice areas. Like Ruxpin, I know he's up in Buckhead area, so yeah, you guys are living the high life. I'm living I'm in Montgomery, man. I'm doing the best I can. Jana A says YouTube from Guatemala. Wow, I thought Alaska Tiger was a long way out. YouTube from Guatemala, you're great. Thank you, Jana. I'm glad you're actually catching it in. D Lucky says, appreciate it, JD. I appreciate you. And Patrick D coming back with a thunderous roar. Our guy, Why Not AU, kind of took the summer off, I think, from the show, which is great. We didn't have a lot to talk about, to be fair. Jason M. says, you look fantastic on my stream. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a subset of the folks that are getting this problem, but that still matters. I mean, I need 100% of you guys to get a good stream, for it to keep going. So, WOSD says Huntsville with the Google Fiber. I mean, come on, it's Huntsville, yo. It's Huntsville. I mean, you guys are a very forward-thinking community. And I love Huntsville. It's a great town. Every time I go up there, I'm like, this place kicks ass. But that's not where I live. Word. Enjoyed getting a little bit of the old soul. Ravine says, glad I got to drink one bourbon before this ended. A bottle? You had one bottle? Good for you, man. You're an efficient drinker. Get some. Yeah, still showing excellent on connection. This one doesn't lie to me either. It tells me. It tells me when I've got problems. All right. I guess we'll wrap it up there for reals. It sure is great to have the show, though, tonight. You guys gave me 10 thumbs up, which is awesome. Thank you guys for that. I think it helps me when you have streams on YouTube and the people don't really interact, which we never really get a lot of interaction after the fact because we're all doing it on we do it on the chat is where we interact here. As far as the comments, if you don't have that and you don't have thumbs up, I think they start to put me in like the desert zone where when I do the videos, they want to put me in last in line to get my stuff kind of encoded. Not it really matters. I just don't really care. Corey W says Kuko's this week, JG. I think I ran into you and your wifey in Kuko's maybe a month ago, and but we didn't talk about it until afterward. It happens sometimes. Let's see. Mike A says running on Wind Lakes with the occasional Chisholm. There's two different groups there. Oh, I did mention Julian. I don't even know if Julian's still here, but Julian had asked earlier for my prediction on this schedule. So I'm totally willing to work through this. I actually have a full schedule screen. Let's see. The full schedule screen. So let's just break this down, okay? Kentucky, I'm going to give that a dub, okay? Thank you, Ravine. I see that super chat, brother, and we're going to jump back on that as soon as we get back to the main screen. Thank you very much for that, though, sir. All right, so Kentucky, I think Auburn wins that game. 1-0. At Georgia, I think Auburn loses that game. Auburn does not play well at Georgia. Hasn't for a long time. And Georgia's pretty good. And Auburn's, at that point in the season, I think they're going to have some issues. So, also, by the way, Alex A says, Kuko's is awful. It is not awful. Seoul for the win. I like Seoul, but it is a million miles from my house. If I lived down that way near Dalreda, I would eat there more often, for sure. Al Luna's and obviously a beast in the restaurant business in this town, but I don't live anywhere near Seoul. It would probably take me 30 minutes to get there, and it takes me about 10 to get to Kuko's, so that's the end of that. Okay, so Kentucky win. Georgia loss. That's 1-1 for me. Arkansas, Gus Bowl. I mean, come on. It's going to be a slaughterhouse. 2-1. 2-1. South Carolina. At South Carolina, I think Auburn wins that game, but I bet it's close. 3-1. At Ole Miss, 4-1. LSU at home. Tricky situation there. Not sure what LSU has. I think they're going to be better than people are saying, but people are saying they're going to suck. So I think Auburn wins that game, but I bet it's a little bit of a dogfight. That's 4-1. At Mississippi State, 5-1. Tennessee at home, I think they win that game. I think that's 6-1. At Alabama, loss, 6-2, excuse me. Wait, am I missing games? I'm missing games. Jeez Louise. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. At Mississippi State, 6-1. Tennessee, 7-1. Alabama 7-2. Texas A&M for me is a win, so that would be 8-2. And
it is Whitlow.
Oh, we're going to hear Whitlow again.
And they're going to give it off to Shivers. Shivers slipped a little. Oh, and Shivers is in. Took somebody's helmet with him.
I don't know where that's coming from, but I like it. I don't know where that's coming from right away, but I like it. We had to just do that for fun anyway. So I've got 8-2 is what I've got. Now Ruxy Poo said 6-4 earlier. And he's certainly a credible poster. No doubt about it. Ravine with a super chat. Thank you very much, sir, for your support of the show. You're always here for us, and it's very much appreciated. He says, we still draining on Saturday. Hell yeah, we're still draining on Saturday, of course. Saturday nights are made for the drain. That's what we do. That's how we roll. Let's see. Ravine says, does sharing the stream also help our YouTube? I'll try to start sharing via Twitter when we drain. I don't know the answer to that. I ought to look into that. I mean, it's not going to hurt. That's for show. 8-2. WOSD says 8-2 gets Gus another raise. Oh, no. You guys get upset about that. I know you do. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. So I got 8-2. That's what I'm saying before we go out again. So until we see you guys next time, appreciate y'all being here, our super chatters, and just everybody being in the chat. It's been awesome, and it's appreciated very much. So we'll check you guys. Oh, we got to do it, gals we adore, though. I mean, we just have to at the end. I mean, it's just part of what we do here. Even if the stream's giving us trouble, we got Jill, of course, the golf gal, and God dang it, I always forget this girl's name. Jenny, maybe? I forgot. I should know these things. I mean, it's all, it's Jill. We love Jill. Jill's the best. She's very good at what she does and what she did and whatever she will do in the future. She's great at it. We also had some other ones we took a look at the other day. Abby Hornacek, who's also lovely. Kind of weirds me out that I watched her dad play, though. So that's probably going to be a no for me. Shannon Spake. Of course, we all love Shannon Spake. Everybody does. Tommy Lahren, I know that's one that Alpha Tiger really likes. Jenny Dell was the girl in the Red Sox outfit earlier. Thank you very much for that, Canoe Man. Tommy Aaron, that everybody likes there. Ali Wong, who I'm not personally familiar with, but she looks cute. Does she always wear glasses? Probably not. This is one of Hornatius's favorites, Allison Stokey. Very fit if you're into that. No doubt about it. So, yeah. Just running through it.
And it is Whitlow.
We'll listen to Whitlow again. Shivers. Xavier McKinney just got his helmet taken off.
Took somebody's helmet with him. Touchdown, Auburn.
Oh, I see where it's going on. It's underneath. Yeah, it's underneath. That's funky. I got to get that straightened out, guys. I'm still learning, for reals. We also got a late super chat from Fat Crack. That's 2 shows in a row for him. I know that for a fact. Thank you very much for jumping in there, bro. And being there for us. You're one of the really good ones. One of the real ones. Mike A says, what's the drink tonight? I'm drinking Old Soul. I wasn't drinking a lot. I mean, it's just kind of a work night. But, if we're going to do the show. Let's see. Mike A says Linda Cohn. She's lovely. Is it on every transition? No, it was a very specific transition. It was anytime I transitioned back to this particular screen. So I think I just had the wrong source file under this, and I think it's straight now. Although I can try it again just to see if we want to, just to frustrate me. Take a look at the defensive depth chart with me in the middle. Hey guys, what's going on? But we broke through this. Call Me Biscuits says J-Porn is going to start playing in the background. Yeah, trucking Xavier McKinney is kind of like football porn, yeah. Okay, I got it fixed. I just had to change the source underneath. Okay. We'll wrap it up, guys. You have been so awesome. I cannot believe. I mean, I know we don't have a lot of viewers now. Obviously, I've had some issues on my end. Just we got to get this streamed out at a lower resolution, I think, which is on me 100%. We get it straightened out for the next show. Hell, I could get it straightened out if I quit right now, but, whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging with us. Super chatters, appreciate you guys. Patrick D, Ravine, Fat Crack, Ruxy Poo up there at the beginning. Absolute badass. Beasts, all of you. No doubt. So we'll check you guys out. I don't know. Maybe we'll do another show later in the week. Oh my goodness, we got another super chat, guys. This one from Bob himself, Bob M. Just ended the workday, missed the show. Oh, well, we had some technical issues again. Nothing like super bad, but it's stuff I think it's stuff that I can fix, Bob. 100% on me, but thank you very much for your super chat, bro. Boom, we're glad to have you. You're usually a late caller anyway, but we love you. Canoe Man says it's not that big a deal. It happened 3 times for like a millisecond. Okay, so it's not like it was that one time. Was it 2-3 weeks ago where it just absolutely shut down? Oh, never going back to that. I'm like, I think this one's on me. We're just going to download. We're going to have to down it to 720 or whatever and just kind of see how it goes. That's on me, though, 100%. I'm just learning my way, guys. I tell you guys that all the time. All right, wrap it up there, guys. Bob, thank you so much for jumping in late. We still love you just as much as if you had started off with it. I mean, for reals. So, check you guys on the flip side. Solid schedule. Glad to have football back. I know you guys are. We'll be covering stuff every day from here for months. Fired up about it. All right, guys. Y'all be good.